Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you're new, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel talking all about teams that just don't get the love nationally like they should. Kind of overlooked, and the Seattle Seahawks are definitely one of those teams. But they get the best news for their offense. We're going to break that down, plus look at the Week 1 matchup. And I think it's just, man, if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, it's just a perfect setup to the start of the season. Kind of get settled in. You're in a tough division, but the NFC is there for the taking. It's exciting. So let's take a look at what this news is, and it has to do with your offensive coordinator. So Ryan Grubb, and here's the thing. When he was in college, he had this like ambitious goal of trying to hit 40 points a game and all this stuff. And you always got these techniques and tactics, right? Every offensive coordinator, every coach does, and it's just a whole thing. I get it. But here's the cool part about this is you go down to right here. New Orleans Saints quarterback Jake Herner was a quarterback at Fresno State for Grubbs. And he said he understands his guys faster than most. He studies the crap out of them. And it's a testament to how fast he can, learn his guys and grow in a short amount of time and understand what he can do with them. So why is this important? Well, because you've got guys that are really good on this team that need to just, like, let's go, right? Geno Smith, what are you good at? As a Lions fan, I know that Geno Smith can do really good things. I've seen him play the Lions, beat the Lions. It's just like, oh my gosh, this guy is steady. He can move just enough out of the pocket. He's not a running quarterback, but man, don't just have him stagnant back there. Get him rolling out a little bit. Get him moving. He's dangerous. You've got great running back, Charbonnet. It's like, man, are we going to use Charbonnet a little bit more? See what he can do. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like, where's he at? Tyler Lockett, end of his career, but he's still got something. DK Metcalf. There's really good players on this team, and if you've got a guy that can really make something happen, it's crazy. So recently, when Grubbs was at Washington, he had Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, and they went wild, right? So there's 3 really good wide receivers that he was able to really do some things with. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at. So I remember talking to people last year. This is someone, Grubb, who's operating like a professional, said Gojo and Golick, who called Washington's 23 game in the Apple Cup. Usually what this means is you're moving your pieces around to get the best matchup, to help create an advantage somewhere schematically, formation-wise, with motion, and use your best pieces. So here's where I'm going with all this is that's such good news if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. Every coach is trying to put their players in the best position. They say that, but are they actually? Well, with this guy, the proof is actually in the pudding. When you look at what he's done in college, who he's developed, how he's put guys in the right position, especially in college, it's like if you can't do it in college, you can't do it in the pros. He's getting guys open with formation, with motion, using the right pieces. So when you look at the Seattle Seahawks offense, you're like, okay, offensive line better. Weapons, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a good quarterback. And the quarterback is actually perfect because he's mobile enough. Like being a Lions fan and having Jared Goff, it's hard at times just because if things break down, it's over. And that's when some of your biggest plays can happen is off script, make one guy miss, you can make something happen. Goff can't do any of that. It really hurts him. Now he's good in other areas, so that really makes up for it. But to have that little bit of mobility, veteran presence, you've got all the pieces offensively to really make something happen. So keep an eye on that. And I think that's just, man, that's just where it's going to be. And I think it's really exciting if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. Just keep an eye on the offense and see what's going on there. Now, another thing is that he did with the offense is the Washington offensive line won the Joe Moore Award for the best unit in college last year. They did zone stuff. There was pin and pull. They were assets in the screen game, running in space. Okay, so now you're really getting excited, okay? Because he knows his players and he can find ways to get them in the best positions. He's good with an offensive line. These are all things we're like, okay, this is literally exactly what we need because we hired a defensive-minded head coach. We know defensively we're going to get better. We were 9-7 last year, whatever, 9-8, and the defense was bad and the offense was clunky. So let's go. This is huge if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. Now, when you talk about Grubbs, I think this was the last comment that was made. It was, I think all of it speaks to Ryan Grubbs' ability to fit what they do in the personnel that they have. It just so happens that in a lot of ways, Seattle's personnel is very similar to Washington, where he just was. So, again, keep an eye on this, and I can't wait to see what Seattle does. Now, the next thing that's really cool, and this comes from the Associated Press, Bo Nix, Bo Nix did his part the offseason training camp to win the starting job. What does he get in his first game? He has to go into the toughest environments in the NFL against a defensive scheme that nobody has seen before. Seattle's a good team. They have a good defense returning and a lot of good players with a new scheme. And here's the thing. They have good players. Now, can they get coached up correctly and just be so much better? I mean, Seattle's defensive numbers last year, you just kind of look at them. It's like, oh, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. And yet they were still in every game. They're right there. It was just, man, we got to clean some things up, not give up big plays. Let's go. So if you're Seattle, you get great offensive news. Now, even the big Associated Presses, everybody's recognizing, well, it's going to be tough for Bo Nix now to go into Seattle. So he has to go into Seattle to a defensive-minded team that's going to be much better and much improved because we've seen now, whether it's with Michigan, whether it's now with the Chargers, these guys, this Mike McDonald, Wink Martindale, Harbaugh defense is really like, okay, we see it. And so the current defensive coordinator for Michigan came from Baltimore, where Mike McDonald came from, right? That tree of just these defensive guys that have come out. And Wink Martindale said, okay, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be able to just do the main things really well. Everyone says that. Again, everyone says that. But there's a lot of main things that you have to do well. And so we have to be able to adjust. All right, they're doing this. Okay, boom, we can adjust it and go exactly what we have to do. So I think defensively, much better. Offensively, much better. Coaching-wise, the personnel's been there. Let's see what they can do coaching-wise and offensively and defensively. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.